Hello. This video, for anybody who's watching it who's unaffiliated with WVU and the marketing program in general, is for my class marketing 345, and this is the final project that I am supposed to upload on YouTube. The first bullet point here is briefly explain your project and overall goals. My project was I was a intramural football player influencer, and my goals was to try to grow the sport of intramural football as well as become a larger based influencer within the sphere. My social media marketing strategy was going to be trying to essentially piggyback off of people who have already done this in their prior success in the semi-pro field, such as like destroying, and I guess even to an extent like MMG, to although he didn't really do content affiliated with sports initially, it was football related. The way I tried to implement this was going through the criteria that we went over in the week by week projects and assignment worksheets, as well as using the Canva to make good looking diagrams that can at least grab the attention of some people. I would argue to say that I didn't achieve these goals, but in order to be successful in this, it would require a lot more time than just 6 weeks in order to become a successful influencer in like any type of sphere. You don't just wake up and become successful overnight. Like every single company, every single influencer took many years, and sometimes you even have to change up strategies midway through, which I feel like there wasn't enough ability to do that within the course in such a small time frame. If this was a full semester, and obviously I feel like this course was supposed to be done with group work. A lot of the like worksheets were phrased with group endings, like who's gonna do this media upload, who's gonna do this media upload, and I just had to write my name for every single time because we were doing it individually. However, I feel like if this course was like 12 weeks long instead of six, there was a genuine chance because I feel like we would have had a lot more time to develop. If there was one thing I could have changed in order to be a little bit more successful, I probably would have just done intramural sports influencer instead of just intramural football, as I feel like the football season for intramural sports was way too short. It was only, I think, 3 weeks this year. So it made it a lot more difficult, especially towards the end, to try to get content. I had to try to shift my focus to just a broader football influencer towards the end. And another thing, I tried to use the um tried to use a Canva organizing software to upload posts to every single, I guess, various social media, but it just did not work for me for any of them except for, I believe, Facebook and Twitter. And even then, those were kind of finicky towards the end. A lot of the reason I think it was super finicky and it didn't really work was just the way I had previous accounts on most of those affiliated with my school account due to various like marketing, or especially with LinkedIn, um, just using my resume and applying to various job locations. Um, I said who I was trying to model my post after already, but the goals were just trying to get engagement, get discovered, like have somebody, I guess, look at it. And I feel like the most successful ones were the ones on Facebook. The tone of my posts were pretty, I feel like, upbeat. I feel like I tried my best to really try to like promote the sport, and even whenever we won, I guess, the technical first game, but we got killed the other two times, and we won the last game. But even whenever we like got destroyed in a football game, we still tried our best. I was trying to be positive. It wasn't really like pointing any blame at anyone. Um, the three posts that worked best for me were probably the three on Facebook. And I think the reason they worked the best was just because I didn't have a Facebook before. So despite the fact that like I genuinely had no idea, a lot of my friends apparently did. So they just saw my name and followed me and they liked the post. So that just had like natural engagement. And I think that's how a lot of influencer journeys kind of have to start out, is you have to have your local friends and family just like keep on supporting you and like farming engagement in order to try to spread to the wider like sphere. The social media channels that worked best for me was Facebook and Twitter. Um, Facebook for the reason I just explained. Twitter for a very similar reason. I didn't have to necessarily make posts in order to like succeed on Twitter. Twitter also has a lot of bots, especially like nowadays with like the purchase from Elon Musk and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of those engagements could have just been bot accounts, realistically. But one of the people, or not necessarily, they might have been suspended or something. But I did remember one of my just like random tweets got a comment from somebody and they were like, "Oh yeah, I really like your prediction for like Thursday Night Football." They might have been a fan of the account, but I tried to pull up the tweet and it's just not there anymore, I guess. So I don't know what the deal was with that. LinkedIn was also really successful. I have no idea why. I guess people just like sports on LinkedIn. I mean, it's like the everyman's, it's a businessman's social media. So I feel like people just kind of like looked at it, was like, oh, whatever. Like this kid's just doing his thing. I don't think I had anybody add me as a connection, but for some reason they had like a surprising amount of views. I would really say analytics played a huge factor in my social media marketing decisions. It definitely did on LinkedIn because the more personal ones had way more viewership than just like the broad ones, like, oh, here's a sale. So the way you could actually like learn about the people who were there definitely did way better. So I tried to incorporate that a little bit later on, but it was a little difficult because a lot of the people didn't really want to like use their face or likeness on my team, and I can't just advertise purely myself for like 6 straight weeks, especially if we're getting. I'm not really doing a whole lot, especially with like football, because the football games are extremely short too. That's the other problem. Um, I learned about what did I learn? I would say I learned that like social media marketing takes a lot more time and effort, especially if you're a startup. Getting found out is extremely difficult. So trying to get like goals or affiliations with other large brands can speed up the process a lot. I also learned that having a team to like separate and like organize this would be way easier. Doing it by yourself is extremely difficult. And all my other previous marketing classes, we've had team members who can like, I guess, get together and help sort out the problems and what's going on with the like, well, what's going on with the general idea of the project. In this class, it's like, especially with the early on with the LinkedIn fiasco, how it felt like week 3 and 4, everything was just, that could go wrong was going wrong. Just like two of my accounts got flagged for something. I think Instagram got flagged, but that one was a lot easier to deal with. Um, LinkedIn's been flagged. I had to swap over to a different one. I had to like call their customer support, and it might have got, and they were like, "Yeah, you can use it, but only for this amount of time. That we're gonna delete it because it's, I think, identical to my professional LinkedIn, essentially." Um, Having a team would just be a tremendous help, and I feel like if that'd be the major thing that I wish I could have changed or wish I could have learned had. The other thing I learned about social media marketing would be that like using trying to appeal to the primary user base in each of the social medias is extremely important because sometimes your primary demographic just isn't there. Pinterest was a really good example. Despite like the NFL, NBA, and I think I used the MLB, all having like pretty large online presences on essentially every other social media. Pinterest was the one where they just by far and none had like the least amount of pull. I think it got so bad for the NFL they just straight up stopped posting because nobody was like reacting to it at all. So they were just like it's a lost cause. And I think the main reason for that is the primarily like female like demographic Now there's a lot more women's sports fans with like Taylor Swift and things of the sorts, but back then in like 2020 or even like 2018 when they were still posting, they just they just weren't. And like my mom likes watching football, but none of my like four sisters do. So like it's obviously with whoever comes or whoever like wants to see it would just go out of their way to watch it. And Pinterest is a lot more like fashionable. So maybe that I feel like if I was the NFL, I'd probably change up my marketing strategy to try to promote more of the fashion of the players. But that's essentially all I learned from social media marketing. Overall, I feel like I did all right. I feel like I could have definitely improved, especially with my final week. I it was just a rough day. I should have submitted the projects earlier before that big storm hit, but I think I did the best I could, and I learned a lot in this class, especially about like task organization and how the various social medias impact social media marketing. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a good day.